This video will be covering using an understanding of unit rates to solve statistical problems, including field goal percentage and increases, and how to set those types of problems up in your table. This type of problem is a little more straightforward. The first one says meet Lasalle, and you can see a picture of Lasalle. He was an excellent basketball player. During the 2012 basketball season, he made 242 out of the 396 shots he attempted. What was Lasalle's shooting percentage? To get it to a percentage, you need to know that we're going to get the number of shots he attempted to 100. Shooting percentage is how many shots did he make per 100. So this is the guiding question. How many did he make per 100 shots? Right now, we know that he made 242 shots out of the 396 that he attempted. We want to get the number that he attempted to 100. This shouldn't be very difficult to figure out what to do. You're thinking about how do I go from 396 to 100? Or 100 times what is 396? And off to the side, you might be inclined to do 396 divided by 100 to see what I need to divide both sides by. Well, you should automatically know this is place value. When we're dividing by 100, or when we want to get to 100, it should be very simple. You should automatically recognize to go from 396 to 100, we're dividing by 3.96. 396 divided by 100 equals 3.96. I had to write on the cell. You're just shifting the place value 2 spots. So if I have the decimal here, if I divide it by 10, it would be 39.6 because I would shift 1 place. Divide by 100, it would be 3.96. I'm shifting 2 places. So that means I'm also going to have to divide 242 by 3.96. I'm just going to erase some of the work I have over here, and I might move Lasalle a little bit. I'm going to move Lasalle over here so I can have some more space to do 242 divided by 3.96. Now I want to get this to be a whole number because I know dividing by decimals is really difficult. So I'm going to make this 100 times bigger to call it 396. And so I'm going to have to make this 100 times bigger as well. So now it's 24,200 divided by 396. Off to the side, you can do some guess and check multiplication. Now I happen to know already that 396 goes into 2,426 times. And I can just show you off to the side. That's 36. 9 times 6 is 54, plus 3 is 57. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 5 is 23. So we would do a little subtraction. So we have 44 remaining, and this is obviously smaller than 396, so we know we did it correctly. And we would still have 1 0 to bring down. 396 goes into 440 one time. And we have 44 remaining, so it would be the same thing over and over and over. 61.11 repeating. So I'm fine if you just say 61.1 per 100. So therefore we can call it 61.1%. Now this is telling us the unit rate. It's percent means per 100 attempts, so it's already in unit rate for us. So we're going to now use this information, or different types of information, to explore Lasalle a little bit more. We can see he's a really good shooter. 61% of the time he makes it. That's excellent. Uh-oh. The following year, 2013, was a bad year for Lasalle. He put on lots of weight, as you can see in the picture, and he became a poor shooter from three-point range. In 2012, Lasalle made 96 three-point shots. But in 2013, he made only 1/3 as many threes. How many three-point shots did Lasalle make in 2012? That should actually say, and those of you paying close attention probably recognize that should say 2013. In 2013, he made only 1/3 as many threes as he did in 2012. How many three-point shots did he make in 2013? First of all, let's organize this information in a T-chart. And if you're using a T-chart, there's an important distinction that you need to make. And what this information is telling us is in 2013, he made 1/3 as many shots in 2012. So if we just have how many shots he made, let's say in 2012 he made 96. And if we're going to represent that as a fraction, 96 is like our whole. So we can call that kind of like 3/3. That would represent, if we're looking at a fraction bar, this whole thing would represent 96. And that's how many three-point shots he made in 2012. Now, the following year, in 2013, he made only 1/3 as many the number of shots. So if we're going to see this representation, that would look something like this, because we would have, that would be like 2/3, and then we would have 3/3. So he's only one of these three parts. So to find out what 1/3 is, I'm going to put this in the table. To go from 3/3 to 1/3, all we're doing, and you can see in the table, is we're dividing by 3. And that's what is being demonstrated with these fraction bars. We have a whole thing, and if we're going to find out 1/3, we're just cutting it into 3 parts, or dividing it by 3. And 96 divided by 3, you should probably be able to do in your head. It's 32. And you could just check that. There's 0 remaining. 32. So he made 32 shots. 32 three-point field goals instead of 96, so that he had a really big drop-off, and his point total probably went way down. (2004) was a bounce-back year for Lasalle. He hit the gym and shed all that extra weight. People marveled at his amazing three-point shooting. In fact, he set a record for three-point shots made in a season. He made 16/3 as many three-point shots as he did the year before. How many three-point shots did he make? He made 16/3 as many three-point shots as the year before. And going through this, if he made 32 shots the year before, I'm going to just shift this number because there's a little error in the problem. So let's say the year before, I'm going to make it a little more workable problem. He made 33 threes. And it's not going to affect how we're solving the problem. He made 33 threes in 2013. In 2014, he made 16/3 as many threes. This is where this problem gets confusing, because this doesn't seem like it's a nice workable number, 16/3. But if we think about what 16/3 means, if it was something like 15 thirds, well, we know 15 thirds is 5, or 500%. 16 thirds is over 500% as many threes. Because if you broke that per 100, now if we think about it as a percent, and we're multiplying by 33, it's over 500%. And to solve this problem, there are several different ways you could go about it. And this is the most important part of this video, is knowing how to solve this type of problem. So let's continue to say he made 33 threes in 2013. So I'm going to show one way using fractions in it. And I'm going to say threes. And let's say he made 33 threes. As a fraction, that would be the whole. So that would be, we would call this 3/3. I'm going to show you another setup that you can use for a table that might work as well. So we would say this total, just going off the problem before, let's say this total is now 33. And that equals his total from 2013. Now in 2014, he was 16 thirds, as many threes. So if we're looking at thirds, let's say this is 1/3 right here. I'm just going to click it so I can drag a copy. So 1/3 would be 11. And I'm going to put that information in my table. To get to 1/3, I'm just essentially dividing it by 3. Cutting this in 1 parts, 2 parts, 3 parts, and each part would be 11 is what we're finding. But it says he made 16 thirds as many. So we know what 1/3 is, but now it's saying that he has 16 of these. So we would make 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So this is 16, I didn't mean to drag that one. This is 16 thirds, and each of these would be 11. So essentially what we're doing is we're taking 11 and we're multiplying it by 16. And we can do that off to the side. 16 times 11, 6, 1, 6, 1 is 176. He made 176 three-point baskets in 2014. I'm just going to move this aside and delete it. I'm going to show you one other way that you could use a table to solve that type of problem. And this is using rates. So if he made 33 threes the first year, what 16 thirds means is that we're now changing it by different rates on each side. So 33 threes is like the whole, or 1. But now we're increasing that by a rate of 16 thirds. Think about what a fraction means. It's a ratio. So it's increasing at a rate of 16 to 3. So on one side, we'd be multiplying by 16. On the other side, we'd be multiplying by 3. That's what 16 thirds means. So the whole would now be 3, and then we would multiply 33 times 16. And I'm just going to do that quickly on a calculator. And that would be 528. Now that doesn't answer our question though, how many did he make in 2014? This isn't a unit rate yet, it's a ratio of 528 to 3. So if we want to get this back to a unit rate, we have to get this per 1, so we have to divide each side by 3. And 528 divided by 3 is 176. So that's another way you could solve this problem, and this one is probably the most important one in the video.